Good evening. I greet you in the precious name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Amen.
Even as we interact with you this evening, we do it at a time and a season where as a nation we would have just celebrated 48 years as a cooperative republic. I pray that as a nation, as we seek to move forward, at the level of the family, you also will endeavor to move forward together. Call your friends, call your neighbors, let them know that choices is on the air. God bless you.
Amen.
We want to thank God for 48 years as a republic. We attained Republican status for the past 48 years now. And even as we move towards the 50 years, we really want to trust that as a people, we will begin to recognize the importance of God and having God in the mix of things.
Yeah.
And we can't do that without prayers. Prayers will actually move the mountains that we have before us and that we want to see disappear in this country.
Amen.
We need to see we need to see our politicians working together in unity.
Amen.
We need to enjoy economic prosperity. We need to see our education system click, and so our people will be empowered with respect to education. And therefore, it is very important that we tap into that source of power, which is God. I believe that as we seek to invite God in our affairs in this country, Guyana will take off, and Guyana will really be that prosperous country that we would like to see Guyana attain. Gentlemen.
I like your top-down approach, politics, community, but I love the bottom-up, where we begin with our family, where we want to emphasize this nation will be as strong as the families that we have. And I want to encourage us. 48 years, we want to say thanks to God. He's been good to us. Let us intentionally build stronger families. We are in a part of our rainforest, and this is a part of the beauty and the wealth of this country. And we want to encourage our folk. Rather than traveling all around the world, it's time to come home and travel and explore beautiful Guyana in our 48th year as a republic. Let us travel home. Let us open new pathways for peace and prosperity. Let us together call upon the name of the Lord as we watch our families grow and grow. Our communities become more responsive to the green idea, where we would rid our streets of plastics and plastic bottles and paper and cans, where in this year we will stop throwing missiles out of our vehicles, that we just consume something from one of the fast food places and then we just discard it as though this is not our responsibility. So we have a lot of work to do. We encourage you, let's make this place a beautiful place.
And you know, Bishop, as we celebrate 48 years, it's not just a republic, but it's a cooperative republic. And it speaks to the fact that we need to work together as a nation, even within our families, husbands and wives, children, even grandparents. We need to work together so that we can achieve the things that have been set before us. This is a glorious and a wonderful country. And you know, you mentioned the beauty of the rainforest. So many foreigners are traveling to come here to experience the wonders of our rainforest. And the tragedy is not many Guyanese really want to explore it. So my encouragement to all of us is that we should explore the splendor of this glorious El Dorado that we have.
You see, 48 years ago when we got our Republican status, we say, well, what's the difference? We had independence in 1966. Why we had to go and get Republican status in 1970? Well, you see, when we were independent, we still had the Queen as the head of state. So she still had to approve certain things that happened in Guyana. So when we became a Republican status, we shed those trappings of having to go to the Queen, and we started to establish our own systems. Now, What we were in effect saying is that we are capable of running our own affairs completely independent of that monarchy in the United Kingdom. But here we are today. We named ourselves the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. But perhaps we have not done justice to the word cooperate. And we are always trying to see how we can get one over the other person. We don't recognize that each part is important, right from the big toe, right up to the eyelids and everybody else, right? Everything else is important. You take away your eyebrows, you see how much sweat will run into your eyes, right? So, warning to those who like to shave their eyebrows. Every part of your body is important, and it's the same way as a nation. We are all very important, and we really need to get back to this whole cooperative spirit, and I think that that is going to get us much more further ahead in the developmental cycle.
Well, my friend stopped at the eyelids. I go to the hair, you know. Even the hair on the head.
All of us go.
But as a people, I believe we have failed ourselves by not cooperating and working effectively with each other. We have shot ourselves in the foot by trying to prove that one is better than the other. But the goodness of God has kept this land together, and the purpose of God will prevail. You know, in the children of Israel, as they were going into the promised land, as one generation failed to understand and to buy into the purpose of God, that generation just easily passed away. And another generation came and took their place to fulfill the purpose of God. Guyana's continental destiny will be fulfilled. Guyana's global assignment will be established, not by man, but by God. And so Psalms 37, just a few verses, it says, "Oh, give thanks to the Lord, for he is good, for his mercies endureth forever. Oh, give thanks to the God of gods, for his mercies endureth forever. Oh, give thanks to the Lord of lords, for his mercies endureth forever. To him who alone doeth great wonders, for his mercies endureth forever." I believe God lives here.
I believe that is also a very good starting point as we celebrate 48 years as a nation, as a republic. And the nation of Guyana, we have so much to give God thanks for. And I believe even as we identify some areas where we may not have done well, we can look at some really very good values that came through over the years. For example, at the family level, we need to go back to those values of saving and teach our children from a very young age the responsibility of not spending all your money, but bit by bit, as we put aside, as we can teach them, and those values are taught best at the level of the family. So as we continue to grow and as we continue to develop as a nation, let us allow those values that have worked for us, let us continue to allow them to grow, and will help us even as we move forward.
You know, we're doing this recording on Matrimony Day. We're out to the city pursuing some great ideas and ideals. And we just want to underscore, while culturally the expression of color and rhythm and music on our streets today will bring great value to some, there are others who understand that even in the midst of it, I wonder if we're going to get it right today. If behind the last band, wherever they are marching from, should be the cleanup crew behind the last band. So if you're a reveler and you are coming with the last band, at the back of your band should be a cleanup crew. That by the time you finish winding up and down, we would be able to resume normal life at the end of the parade and the bacchanal. We'll be able to have a clean streets and drains. But that would only happen if we begin to take responsibility and don't say, I can just throw what I need to throw and somebody else would do it. I pray that those who organize this thing, the last item on the parade should be the cleanup crew. Music and all, but at the end of it, at 6 o'clock in the morning, before board wife wake, as they say, the place would be clean, very, very clean. And so we want to challenge us, not only at the family level, but at the community level. We can take responsibility and not cause us the environment to suffer for 1 week after we would have done partied and everything like that. Let's get the place clean.
At 48 years as a nation, I mean, I know what it is to be 48. I'm beyond 48.
Really?
And I'm thinking that just like I had to get wise at 48 and beyond, we need to start thinking a little more wise or wiser as we go forward. We're a cooperative republic, yes. We need to be working together, yes. We need to make sure that whatever the plans that we sit down and talk about, we bring it into fruition, yes. It means that we got to do what some of our national songs are saying to us, our motto is saying to us. If you don't know it, it's time that you get to learn it, because we got to do these things, because we're getting older. Next year will be 49.
All things being equal.
All things being equal. But let us endeavor that as we grow older, we act and do the mature thing. We can't keep looking back at where we came from and keep blaming ourselves for some of the things that we did in the past when the future is before us. I want to encourage us. Look ahead, and as you look ahead, lift your head and look up to the Creator. He's got a blueprint for this nation.
So we are republic, we are independent, and we are in division. What is dividing us? There was a lot of commissions of inquiries that are set for various things. I would like to know what is dividing us. Let us strategize. At 48, you should know by now it's time for this thing to be over. It is time for this to be over. So let us strategically go in areas and see how we can work together to bring solutions to bridge this gap. And then when we reach 49 and more so in 50, there will be a grand celebration of a people who are united and can never be defeated.
Well, we need to, I agree with you, we need to do the internal thing of coming together, building greater cohesiveness. But at the same time, simultaneously, we need to invest in good friendships outside of our country, where we build better relations with neighboring states, with countries that are far off. We need big brothers. We are a small country, small population, and lots of resources. We are resource rich. Suddenly people are figuring out, where is this country called Guyana? Because of what we have, because of what this world needs. So we don't only need to be cohesive and work together, we need to protect ourselves. We need to have friends, powerful friends, who will help us to protect what we have and help us to develop what we have and help us to come to a place where we can benefit from everything that God has blessed us with.
Bishop, if I may ask you this.
We have some Sambalas and Tobias who would like to do things so that they could gain from it. You know, right here, now they have persons who won't like us to come together because they're getting wonderful things from it, you know. But we have a God that we serve.
I like the names you called, Sambalat and Tobiah. They function at a particular time when the walls of Jerusalem were broken down. And I agree with you. You have people with that kind of personality. They're pursuing their own interests, the interests of their own group, and those kinds of things. But we, just in the midst of that chaos, you also had Nehemiah.
Yes.
A man who was a great visionary, a man who was a great builder, a man who built while his enemies were shouting and scheming, a man who was focused. Nehemiah challenged the people, and they had a mind to work. In a very short period, Nehemiah was able to accomplish the rebuilding of the walls of Jerusalem. And so, never mind Sanballat and Tobiah. People don't even name their parrots and their dogs by those names. But people continue to name their children Nehemiah. We need the spirit and the leadership of Nehemiah to take us through.
I like the whole idea. They had a mind to work. And that is the same mind we need in this nation to work together to accomplish purpose. Guyana is set on a road to greatness. A house divided against itself will never stand. But if we work together, we can accomplish much.
You know, one of the things we need to do is to explore our country again. Even as the planes depart Guyana full, they're also arriving full. And people are coming to Guyana, some of them on special assignments, but they're finding the time, if it's a week they're spending or 2 weeks, they're finding the time to visit several parts of Guyana, especially our housing projects, the housing areas, the developments that are happening there. They're visiting with the intent of finding out how they can rent, how they can lease, how they can buy. And so we have to be wise. We are living here. We need to explore those opportunities and don't be too quick to sell your property. And, you know, so we need to explore our country all over again, and we will be amazed to see what we will discover.
What advice can we give our young people? Not all of us past 48. What advice can we give to our young people who are watching saying, y'all talking a lot of talk, but I am jobless? What advice, gentlemen, can we give to young people?
I would like to add that with respect to our young people is that they need to be focused, they need to be determined, they need not give up, and of course they need to call upon God, because in the worst of situations, with the kind of determination and the relationships, building relationships, a way could be made for you. And so our young people need not be dismayed, need not be frustrated, because many of us could testify as to where we came from, not having certain amenities of life, but we still, because of being focused and remain resolute in God, we actually became somebody of merit, somebody of worth in our society. And so I would want our young people not to give up. I would want them to take education seriously, to be in school, because once you have that kind of paper, you give yourself a greater chance, a greater shot at life to enjoy what we may call social mobility. And therefore, if you don't have anything to bargain with, you will not be able to make the progress. We're not suggesting that education alone will cause you to get there, but you need to have some kind of education, so at least you will have a start in life.
I have a word for the young people. Industry. I'm not talking about the East Coast or that village, but industry. There was one time I was young and I was jobless, and I saw a guy around the corner. He used to do cabinet making or make furniture and upholstery and so on, and he was always in trouble with somebody to get their work and so on, because like he's used to take on more than he bargained for. So I said to him, here now, you make the furniture and I will shine them. And I start to, you know, polish this furniture and sand them and so on. You know, I became very skillful. You know, I was not the skilled man, but at least I knew how to sand the furniture. And from that, another set of guys joined the crew, and I went around to bars. You know, in those old days, they used to have rum shop with a wire mesh and so on, and the people used to buy the liquor or what have you from there. I said, you know what, we could bail over these places, you know. And the guys with the skill, they came and we started converting all these old time thing into bars and put glass, you know, hanging down. It used to look real good. You know where it took us? We even got a contract to do over the library, which was a disco at that time, as a young man. You know, so maybe someday I will use those skills to start some kind of construction company in the future. But I'm telling you that with your initiative, if you have your initiative, don't say you don't got work, you know. Go out there. There's something that you can do legally.
This is all honest work. It's honorable. And we have to come back to that place. I remember the time between school and real work. I plucked chicken. My friend was a shepherd. The same place I was plucking the chicken, he took care of the sheep. At the end of the day, he smelled horrible. It's unbelievable. But that was honest work. Oh, we work hard. All between our nails would bleed. But at the end of the day, we had earned honest money that was good. And he went on to teaching, I went into management. The important thing is, we need to get it to our young people. Honest work is honorable. You don't have to start at the top. You can start like a tree at the bottom and grow and become whatever you want to become.
Bishop, you could tell them that you used to do stevedore work too.
Well, I never really got, I wasn't a stevedore per se, but I was the soul boy. I did that. Yeah.
Few persons, Bishop, who end up who start at the top. I believe it is service that opens the door. And develop a heart of service. And as you do that, you're going to find how the doors are going to be open to you. Barack Obama, I discovered, before he became as popular as he was a community worker, one who worked and helped, community organizer, helping along. And so you want to become rich and famous, learn how to serve.
You know, I got a friend named David.
Hey?
Not Ornstein. King David. King David made a statement. I once was young, but now I'm old. Yet I have never seen the righteous forsaken or a seed begging bread. My advice to young people, get to know Jesus Christ as your personal Lord and Savior. That's a good investment.
Amen.
And when you invest your life in doing what Christ needs, Christ takes care of every crisis that you might run into.
You know, one of the things Pastor Hermanstein spoke about industry, and we don't even have to wait until we finish school. But even in school, you can look for opportunities. I remember when I was going to school, I noticed that the children purchased a lot of those. In those days, you used to call them bubble gum. And one of the things they used to do is they buy the gums to get the wrapper, and they put it like a tattoo on their skin. But I noticed that there was a demand there, and I organized with a friend that used to go to Trinidad and bring in the gums. And I sold gums for a couple months well. My parents didn't even have to give me money to write my exams. I paid for it myself. So we have to there's so much that we can do. There's so much that we have to offer, but we have to explore. Don't be proactive. Let's not just wait on somebody to tell us. We can start our own little businesses.
You know, if I may add, well, I'm speaking to the older generation. At school, there were 3 textbooks that we used. The new course in arithmetic, new course in geometry, and new course in algebra. I bought those books by cutting rice using a grass knife. And, you know, as I reflect on it, you know, Bishop, you mentioned that honest work is honorable work. My parents could not then have afforded to buy those books for me. And they encouraged me that during the August vacation, that I should go to the rice field and help to cut rice. And I cut rice using the grass knife. And further to that, after the rice is finished cutting, there's something that you call mashing rice as such. So you put the paddy and you had the bullock going around it and you help to trample it.
Yeah.
And that, added to that, sometimes when it rained and you want the paddy to sun out, you spread it to the side of the road and you call that operation kicking rice, where you walk through it so that you could turn the grains over. And I am extremely happy of what I did in my past, because today it has made me a better person, understanding the value of work.
Yes. It is truly amazing. If there's one thing we want our young people to know, if we could drill this into your head, honest work is honorable. And if you work hard and do honest work when you're young, wake up as normal people do and go to work, rather than sit or lie in your bed and dream about who you could rob or who you can take things away from. That life, the people who lead that kind of lifestyle is short. It's brief, very brief. They don't live to grow old like those of us who are 48 and 48 plus. You have to develop a mindset to work hard and to be honest. And as you do that, life will begin to open up doors for you. And if you put your confidence in God and you call upon Him, this is what His word says. He is a very present help in the time of trouble. So for you, young man, young woman, work hard. Yes, there are enormous benefits at the other end. Choices. We'll see you next week.
We thank you for joining us on Choices today. Remember, you can join us at First Assembly, LNP Durban Street, Workmanville, Georgetown, Guyana, for any of our special services. I'm Celicia on behalf of the set, reminding you that your whole life is the sum of your choices. God bless you.